Well, hello, Britiny. How are you?
Hi, Beth. I'm good. How are you?
It's so good to see you. I'm so glad that we get to have this conversation.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to do this.
Hey girl, so glad that you tuned in. My name is Bethany, and this is the Make Up Your Mind channel. You're listening to episode number 33. Whether you're actually putting on your makeup, maybe you're getting ready for work or school at home, wherever life finds you today, I hope that you remember that there are people that are for you, that are cheering you on to succeed. Today, I hope that I get to be one of those people standing like a cheerleader on the sideline of your life, helping you to make up your mind all day long about the small things that add up to huge things later on. Today, I am so excited because we have a guest coming on the channel today. We're going to be having a conversation over Zoom, and her name is Miss Britiny Fry, or if you follow her on social media, her handle is Britiny Marie. She is an influencer on social media, and she has been a youth pastor as well in her life. And I just really want to get her perspective on social media today, influencers' lives, all the things. So sit back and enjoy because we're going to have a conversation with Britiny. Well, hello, Britiny. How are you?
Hi, Beth. I'm good. How are you?
It's so good to see you. I'm so glad that we get to have this conversation.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to do this.
Okay, so real quick off the bat, tell us a couple of interesting things about you, like just interesting facts that you like to tell people.
Interesting facts. Well, one of the questions that you had sent me previously said, what is your all-time favorite snack? And I actually had to think about this one for a little while because I'm currently 32 weeks pregnant, and my favorite snacks are always changing and they're kind of random. But right now, my current favorite snack is dry cereal. I love just putting like cinnamon rice check specifically in just like a mug and eating it. That's like my favorite thing, like my favorite go-to whenever I'm hungry or like in a snacky mood. That's what I do. Just fill it up with some dry cereal.
I love that. That is so good. I love cereal. Cereal is like the underrated snack, and people think you eat it in the morning, but I feel like it's better at all times of day.
I agree. I actually even think that cereal at nighttime is better than cereal in the morning.
Yes.
Like a good bowl of cereal right before bed. That's like pretty great.
For sure. And you know what? I also know about you. You make a really mean smoothie, don't you?
Oh yes. Smoothies too, for sure. So
tell us your favorite smoothie.
Also, this is how you know you're getting old is you ask for a blender for Christmas. So I got a blender for Christmas. And my favorite smoothie right now is bananas, mangoes, pineapples, and oat milk. Just like really simple. Yeah. And all of the fruit has to be frozen. And it tastes like you're eating like a mango sorbet. It tastes like dessert. And it's so good. And it's good for you. And I love it. My kids love it.
And
smoothies are also a great snack.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Hawaii. Grew up in Oahu. I lived there till I was 13. And then we moved to California. And right now we live in Washington. So it was definitely a big climate change. When we moved here like 4 or 5 years ago, I had to take vitamin D pills just because of all of the sun that was missing from my body. So
I know today is such a nice day out. I'm like, we need to be recording this outside right now.
We should be. I think that this week we've been spoiled with the sun. So when it starts raining again, I'm going to go back into, I need my vitamin D pill mode.
For sure. Okay. So let's get into this. Tell me, how did you become an influencer? I'm going to probably tag you in this post so that people can find you.
Okay, cool.
But how did you start? Like, how did this begin?
Yeah, that's funny because when I was trying to think back on how it all kind of started, it was like 4 or 5 years ago, right? When we moved to Washington, I'd just become a new mom. And I felt like I kind of moved into my husband's old life because he grew up here. He's from here. His whole family, all of his friends are here. And I didn't have any friends. I had like friends that were his friends or his friends' wives, but they weren't like friends that I had made on my own. So I was really looking for that kind of that community, that relationship and friendship. and mostly from people that were kind of in the same phase of life that I was in, because I had just been a new mom.
Yeah.
I think Luke was like, he was like 1.5, and I didn't have a lot of friends up here either that had kids.
Mm.
So it was really organic in that way, when I would just kind of post pictures of me and Luke or things that I was going through, and people that could kind of have that like, oh, me too, and connect on that level. That was kind of just how it happened. And it was really cool because it was kind of organically, and it wasn't so much like, I'm going to build this and I'm going to reach this number and have these sets of goals. It was just more like sharing my life. And that's how it all started. So,
And it doesn't help that you're very like artistic in your approach to these things too.
that's another thing too, is I love photography. Photography is one of my favorite pastimes, like side hobbies. And I don't do it like really professionally. It's just kind of fun for me. So yeah, like taking pictures and documenting things has always been one of my favorite things to do. So that helps a lot too with keeping up and posting on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so this is not one of the questions that I previously sent you, but I thought of it
Okay.
earlier today when I was driving around. I'm sure all the ladies out here are going to want to know where your favorite place to buy clothes is. Like, where do
Ooh.
you like to shop?
Well, my favorite places to buy clothes: H&M,
All right, yeah.
Zara, Free People, thrifting. I actually love thrifting too. That's a lot
Ooh,
of fun for me. Yes, you can find a lot of good things, just random treasures, and even like really expensive items that people just kind of like throw away. They got bored of, and then it's brand new for you. So that's fun.
that's so
But yeah,
awesome. I know
I would
because
say those places.
I feel like girls are always looking at influencers going, oh, but where do they,
Clothes.
where do they get all their
Yeah.
things? And for you, you're wearing so many fun dresses right
I
now.
love
And I'm just,
dresses. Yes. Yes. Because I have limited clothing options right now. So dresses have been my lifesaver. Pants are
mm,
not comfortable when you're pregnant, especially I feel like when I'm in like the last few weeks, I just like nothing around my stomach, please. So dresses.
yeah,
And when it's nice out too, it's so fun to just wear kind of something light and easy to put on. So
for sure. For
dresses.
sure. Okay, so is it hard for you to turn off social media? And in the same breath, like what boundaries have you had to create, as you've gotten more and more followers and the pressure, I'm
Mhm.
sure, to, create content has gone up? Like, what have you done to like kind of,
Yeah, I would say it's honestly become easier to turn off social media over the years. Like if you'd have asked me this question a couple years ago, it would have been very different, because if you want to have a platform on Instagram or on social media, there's a lot of pressure just to be present always on social media. So a lot of like liking and catching up and commenting and following and posting. And it can become kind of like this obsessive behavior where it's like, oh, I need to be on here and doing these things if I want to grow or if I want to keep reaching my goals. And then also too, I think it can almost replace real life connection.
mm,
It can inhibit your ability to kind of interact with people face to face. Like back when Cameron and I were in Martinez at our church, we first moved there, and I had a lot of people kind of friend request me on Facebook or Instagram, and we'd have these really cool conversations. Like they'd comment on my stuff or I'd message them and we'd just like talk back and forth. And then when I'd see them in real life, it was almost like they didn't even know me. Kind of like there wasn't a whole lot of social interaction besides like hi and goodbye. And I thought, oh, we're friends. Like we made this connection online. So let's like have a conversation face to face. But it didn't feel that way coming from them. But then they
mm.
talked to me about all kinds of things on social media. So
Do you feel like
um,
people are more apt to open up like that when they don't have to be face to face? Is
for
that
sure. Yeah, I think because when you're behind a screen, it's a lot easier to kind of maybe collect your thoughts and really kind of think about what you want to say to someone before you say it. And in the moment, it can be maybe scary to just try to blurt out things that come to your mind or interact with people in that type of a way. I
Mhm.
don't know. You know, It's interesting. And I think too, just nowadays, just because social media and the internet and everything is it's so accessible to everybody. And it's almost become our only way that we've been able to interact for the past year in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, having that face-to-face conversation, I think social media, it can be harmful in trying to make those real face-to-face relationships and interactions.
And at the same time, I mean, I think there's also the like, sometimes you can be too collected in your thoughts,
Yeah.
and maybe say things that you wouldn't normally say in real life in
True.
a negative way too, which is
very true.
What the episode prior to this one is about.
Yeah.
But interesting. So back on you creating boundaries. So you said that in the past it was a lot harder.
Yes. And some things actually that I've implemented just in this past like year that have been really helpful is like something simple with stories, like updating my stories and being on there because, you know, I love documenting, I love taking pictures. So in the moment, like the other day I went to the zoo with my kids and I love taking pictures of them and I love just like capturing things that we're doing. So I'll use my camera roll and I'll just take pictures of what we're doing, them doing something silly or like an animal or something, and not stressing about uploading it to Instagram right away, like in the moment. People don't have to know what I'm doing at all times. They can just see it whenever I post it. So I'll have all my pictures at the end of the day. When I have a minute to just sit down and upload it all at once, that's what I'll do. And it takes a lot of pressure of having to like trying to make sure that people know everything that I'm doing at the exact time that I'm doing it, because they don't need to. And if I want to share my day at the end of the day of things that we've done, it's so much easier just to go through my camera roll and pick out specific pictures or videos that I want to share with them instead of trying to like do it in the moment.
Yeah, I love that because it creates like the opportunity for you to be so much more present with what you're doing too, and not
for
feel
sure.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Because then, too, if you're trying to upload in the middle of doing something fun with your friends or with your kids, it definitely takes away from being present and being there and being able to fully enjoy what you're doing in the moment, too. So, that for sure.
That.
And then also, too, there's a huge safety benefit. Like if I had just posted me and my friends or my kids at the zoo and like tagged the location, that's out there on the internet for thousands of people to see. And you never know what kind of things or people are out there kind of lurking on your stuff. So I think for sure that's a huge safety thing to just like do it when you've left the location.
Can I quickly ask about that too? And that's something that I think we're going to be talking about in coming episodes as well, is like, what do you do? Because I'm sure you get people kind of messaging you and being kind of creepy on social media. And in those like situations, like how do you handle that?
Yeah, well, because people, there's a lot of creepy people and creepy messages and things that people could say to you that are really not okay and very inappropriate. Anything that I get like that, I immediately just delete block anything that makes you uncomfortable, anything that you think, oh, that's inappropriate, I don't like how that made me feel, delete and block. And just, you got to do that to protect your safety.
Yeah.
And of the people around you too. So
yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because I think sometimes we just don't, some of us, especially when we're younger and we don't have experience in life and, might think that somebody's just harmless. Like we need to hear that it's okay to just delete, block, don't even respond, don't even talk back. You don't even need to do that.
You don't need to. You don't owe anybody anything. And yeah.
Okay. So next question I have for you. Have you struggled with comparison ever?
Yes. Okay. So I used to struggle a lot with comparison and like comparing my life or what I have as compared to what other people are doing in their life and what they have. But over the years, it's kind of shifted into like comparing in a business and more numbers way, as like
Mm.
followers or like better engagement and all these things that other people are getting, or if they're growing faster, or if they're getting more likes. And it's like, I think because it's Instagram can be kind of more business, like a job for me. And I feel myself comparing in those types of ways because, like, the higher your engagement, the more you have followers, like, the more money you'll get, the more business opportunities you'll get, stuff like that. So, yeah, just kind of like learning to navigate. I think everybody struggles in different ways with comparison on social media. And especially because it is a highlight reel and people only post the really good things that are happening in their life, or like the picture perfect corners in their house where everything is so neat and clean and pretty, but like the back of you looks like a disaster. But we don't
Come
see
on.
that, you know? So it's easy to just kind of see, oh, look, their kids are perfect. They never fight. Or that woman, she has all these beautiful dresses and clothes, and I'm stuck with my wardrobe, you know, stuff like that. So just important to see. I think you only get to see one side of people. You don't get to see the whole like well-rounded version of people.
Yeah, and it's like so much kind of what we were talking about before, in that it's not your whole life. Like social media is just like this small little tiny little bit of someone's life, and you're not seeing like their bad days. You're not seeing, you know, when their family's falling apart, or when, you know, if their parents are walking through a divorce. Like, you're just seeing their beautiful trip to the zoo, for instance. Like, you know, and we tend to compare our horrible days to someone else's best day, and can be a trap sometimes in that way.
So true. And then like if you have, like, if you put it into percentages, your entire day, like 100% of your day, I would say maybe 10% of my day is ever put online, you know? And you don't see all of the other stuff or the behind the scenes things that people go through or the thoughts that people have. You don't get to see any of that. That's never really put out there. It's only the good stuff. And I mean, you want to remember your life for the good things, and you want to put the good and the positive things out there. But it's just important, I think, to remember that people don't post all of their challenges and all of their struggles and everything that they have to deal with on a daily basis on social media. It's just mostly the good things.
It's such a good reminder. I'm going to kind of skip down to this one. Have you like come up with a way? This is not necessarily an influencer question, but this is a you question. Like, how do you process your bad days?
My bad days, I get off the internet completely. And sometimes I will delete Instagram off my homepage because it's kind of funny how often I could just swipe open my phone and my thumb would just go to the Instagram app, which is kind of sad. So I just delete it off my page because it doesn't delete your account or anything. It's all still there, but it prevents you from just like mindlessly going there. And out of habit, out of no other reason, like I tap on the app, like, why am I on here? I don't know. But yeah, get that off. Just delete it off your screen. You don't need it. Get off social media completely. And then just start putting yourself in like a grateful mindset. Things that you're grateful for, things that you're happy with about your life, things that make you happy that you can get out and do. Like, even just the weather right now has been so great. So getting outside, taking a walk, putting your head in a good mind space so that you can return to social media and feel like you can give people, like, provide them something instead of like trying to figure out what you can take from other people.
Oh, that's so good.
If that makes any sense, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that does 100%. I think that's a mindset that we kind of go, or we go into like looking for ourselves from others. Like, I compare myself to try and figure out myself. And sometimes like, that's just not the way to find out who you are.
No, 100% not. Another thing too, I think with social media, it's a trap for flattery and compliments and lots of good things that people say about you. So if you believe all of the good things and all of the flattery that's coming at you in your comment section, you're also going to believe all of the bad things and the negative things that people say about you in the comment section. So it's really important to know your identity and to know who you are outside of your Instagram or your pictures, so that the one bad comment that you get, or the one thing that someone says to you that's just a little bit hurtful, like you can brush that off and you don't have to believe it, because you know who you are and you don't have to believe all of the things that people say, good or bad, on social media.
Oh, that's so good. Thank you for saying that. That's fantastic. I love it. Okay, so we kind of covered what parts of your life you share with followers and what parts you don't. You said, oh, is someone coming over to say hi?
You want to say hi to B really quick? Sorry.
Is it Luke?
No, he ran back. Yeah.
Hi, Luke. Okay.
Yeah, back to the TV.
Okay, so we kind of covered this already a little bit with some of the other comments that you made about what parts of your life you actually put on social media and what parts you don't. But is there like pretty like defined boundaries, or is it kind of just as you go, you figure it out?
Yeah, I'm pretty open for the most part. There's certain things that I won't share to just protect my family. Like once you put it out there on the internet, it's there forever. And one day my kids could look back at this and think, oh my gosh, I was such a burden, or my mom talked about me horribly. And that just wouldn't make them feel good. So I don't share a lot of like specific struggles that I deal with me and my kids, or me and my family, or me and my friends, because I just don't ever want them to ever look back on it and think poorly of themselves, or even poorly of me for complaining about them on social media. And I think it's important to kind of protect, like you don't air all your dirty laundry out on social media, because it's not an appropriate place. For me personally, it's not an appropriate place or a sufficient place to receive the kind of help that you're looking for.
It's so good.
Yeah. And then sometimes people can maybe view that positivity as being disingenuous or inauthentic, because I'm not putting all my struggles out there. But then again, like you don't owe people anything, and you choose what's healthy for you to share and what parts of your life require privacy.
And you really should, again, coming back to social media is not your life. Like, if you have struggles, you share them with friends and with family when you choose to, in person, on the phone, in real time, not just to a random stranger.
Exactly. And that's so true. Like your real life friends should always be the first place that you run to share your struggles and challenges, or to cry with, or to get attention from, because the internet is not always a healthy place to run to when you have some sort of conflict. It can be the easiest, but it's not always the most beneficial.
Yeah, that's so good. Britiny, you're killing it. I love it. Okay, last question for you today. Okay, how would you encourage young women, teenagers, young adults around the topic of social media?
Okay, I love this question. And this is my advice. Care less about what the internet thinks of you.
Come on.
Yeah. People of all ages, but I think especially just this younger generation, we all have this really high regard and reverence for Instagram. And it's become this kind of like popularity contest. But don't let it become that. This is your space. So just post what makes you feel good, post what you want, post what makes you happy, and just care less about what other people think.
I love it. I really hope that the girls that listen to this really hear that and just receive it, because I really feel like that's so much wisdom. You have so much wisdom here.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Awesome. Girl, thank you so much for joining me today again here at Make Up Your Mind channel. I am so thankful that you got to participate in that conversation with the beautiful Britiny. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're watching, whether it's on IGTV, YouTube, or on any of the podcast platforms. I'm so glad that you joined us again today, and I can't wait to see you next week. So I'll catch you later.